All right, ladies and gentlemen, you want to know what really goes on politically? I'll tell you, but you ain't gonna like it. I suppose the first thing we have to do is cover the history of the Democrat Party. I find it ironic and funny, even though it's not, that the supporters of the Democrat Party are running around burning flags and tearing down statues of people who owned slaves way back when that was a thing all over the world, as they ignore their own party's history. It was the Democrats who supported slavery. It was the Democrats who fought to keep it. It was the Republicans who fought to end it. It was the Democrats who instituted segregation and carried it into the modern time after slavery was abolished. Yet their supporters and leaders in the Democrat Party run around all self-righteous and pointing their fingers at everyone else as they ignore their own history. Something that's available in any high school history book in the entire country. But I suppose that speaks to gullibility and unwillingness to educate yourself or pay attention when the education was offered to you in the first damn place. Are all Democrats evil? Nope, I don't think so. Are all Republicans on the side of good? Nope, I don't think so. There's a smattering of positive and negative on either side. It's unavoidable. Just look at Liz Cheney as an example. Obviously, she's caught up in all of this, or she wouldn't have done the things that she's done. But after observing this for quite some time, it would appear that the majority of the negative influences within our government are on the side of the Democrats. It's just the way it is. Obviously, they're not for freedom. Obviously, they don't support the Constitution, or they wouldn't be pushing the policies that they have been. All right, so now that we made it up to modern times, at least wise have covered the history of how we got here, let's get a little bit more specific. During the Obama administration, there were regular meetings between the White House and the social media companies, at least wise the big three of the social media companies, and mainstream media. After everything that you've seen them try to institute, if you overlook the Trump administration, what the hell do you think they were talking about? They were talking about suppressing the news. They were talking about shadow banning. They were talking about how they could make their ideas and policies look more popular than they really are. Obviously. And that's a violation of the First Amendment and is treason in its simplest form. But it gets worse than that. Remember Fast and Furious when the Obama administration was sending guns across the border and either a Border Patrol agent or a DEA or somebody agent ended up getting killed by one of those guns? Do you remember Benghazi? That's all part of the treasonous activity and how they were making their money. Hillary's email server was an open source. If you paid the Clinton Foundation enough money, you got access to it and you could get whatever the hell you want. That's what they're worried about. And that's why they raided Trump's property. And that's why they accused him of colluding with Russia and impeached him and every other damn thing they've done to him, because they're scared. And they want to know what he has so they can get their hands on it and destroy it. So I've said this a bunch of times, but I'll be more than happy to say it again, because it drives everything you have witnessed since 2016. What wouldn't you do? What wouldn't you say to avoid the penalty for treason? Because the penalty for treason in a restored Republic of the United States, something that Trump was obviously working for, is death. So here's the rub, or the part of this joke that ain't no joke. In order to bring in their system of government that they're trying to establish, first they have to crash this system. And that should scare the living hell out of every one of you. Because if this system is allowed to crash, a lot of people are going to die. And a lot of people are going to suffer. And one of them, more than likely, will be you or your family, friends, and loved ones. So pretending that there isn't a problem and going about your life like there isn't anything going on, like it's the same old, might not be the best idea. Because contrary to what some people are promoting, it's not too late for our voices to change everything, if only we're willing to use them. And it can be as simple as talking to your neighbor. It can be as simple as talking to your cousin, your daughter, or your son. And the word spreads from there. The American public overall is allowing themselves to be bullied. And anybody who's ever had any experience with a bully knows that you do not allow it. Even if you're going to end up getting your ass kicked, it's a hell of a lot better to stand up to a bully than to go along with it, because it only brings about more bullying. So that's where we're at. And I'm sorry if you don't like it, but they don't give a shit if you don't like it. They just want you gone so that they can have their little utopia that they want to build, which, by the way, will fail. Because in the end, the guys who seen it, the people who fought for it, the people who witnessed it, got it right. Freedom is the only way.